on the global forum?
Well, as I said then and I say now, as lawyers, we can only do that much. It was a big decision by the government. As you know, we put a lot on stake. It was a big decision by the government. As I moved the ICJ, they had complete faith in the advice we gave them, and you've seen every inch of the way. You heard the arguments continuously, so you know where we are.
Yes.
Mr. Harish Salve, this is Navika here, and many congratulations. The entire country joins us here, Rahul and me, on Times Now to congratulate you for your big victory, because this is a message that India has also sent out to Pakistan. Do you think when you made your arguments about the jurisdiction, about the supremacy of the Vienna Convention over and above the bilateral agreement between India and Pakistan, and the fact that there were urgency in the entire matter and provisional measures need to be taken by the court, all four arguments of yours being accepted by the International Court of Justice, is that something that comes as a huge part of the strategy that you could have discussed with the Indian government?
Well, the legal parts, Navika, we did, of course, there was involvement at all points, but we did the legal parts, and we put in a bit of effort, burnt a bit of midnight oil, and studied the subject. There was not very much time, as you know, to do all this, but we managed to do it, and I was very satisfied when I was arguing. Now I can tell you, I told you I'll talk to you after the verdict. As lawyers with 40 years under the belt, you sort of get a feel of how the judges are reacting, and I felt a very positive energy when I was arguing. I felt the judges were sort of connecting, and I was somewhat gratified when the other side was arguing. I didn't see that connection, which is something which we as lawyers learn to see and worry about or feel comfortable about. Even then, as I told another channel, I'm sure you've all done this. When you prepare hard for an exam, you get the paper, you know you've done well, but you still have butterflies in your stomach till you get your result. So that's where it is.
Well, let me ask you, sir. You said that you didn't feel there was a connection between the Pakistani side and the panel. When did you get that feeling? And there was obviously a degree of mendacity.
Well, see, it's like this. It happens every day in Supreme Court. When somebody is arguing, the judge is not connecting. Now, with years of experience, you get to sense. If the case had gone badly for us, I would have come out saying, no, I was not able to connect. So it's that feeling. But then again, it's a gut feeling. It's a feeling you develop over years with experience. It's not 100% right.
But it's very much a litmus test that gives you a sense, Mr. Harish Salve. Mr. Harish Salve, on the legal point now, what happens next? The consular access, is that guaranteed with the verdict that's been pronounced by the International Court of Justice? The fact that the parents of Kulbhushan... Yeah.
I want to use your channel to make one thing clear. There's a lot of confusion. Consular access, yes, but at what stage? So we have asked for what is called restitution. This consular access should have been given to us in March 2016 before the trial began. So there have been cases where the courts have said you have to annul the process and go back. That's called the principle of restitution. That's what we are fighting for. Can we take it to another level, saying in today's circumstances, you must annul and release the man? I don't know. That will be an evolution of jurisprudence. But then jurisprudence always evolves. Now, those are all areas which are relatively new, even in the ICJ jurisprudence. So consular access, yes, but what has happened is, how do you treat the end result, which there is today, which has been minus consular access? Giving him consular access today is no use if the verdict stands. That's the point.
So basically what you're saying is that now the next step is to try and prove that the entire proceedings were ultra vires of natural justice. Yeah. That's what you're saying.
They're proceeding with a violation of the convention.
And therefore there should be a retrial.
First first of all, you have to annul this. That's the language used in some of the decisions. It's called the prayer for annulment. And that's one of our prayers. If you download our material from the website, you'll get that.
So, Mr. Salve, if you are asking for the annulment, that case on merits will be heard separately by the International Court of Justice. So, first you will seek for annulment at the International Court of Justice before you proceed further with the Pakistani side.
No, that's the case now. See, the Court of Appeal, the International Court of the International Court is not a court of appeal. They don't go into whether the verdict was rightly or wrongly arrived. That's why when Pakistan wanted to show us passport on this, I mean, they were playing to the gallery. But those issues are not relevant. In my opening, if you now remember, I had made this point that we have a lot to say, but we are not saying it because the Court of Appeal doesn't second guess the correctness of a conviction. It's a procedural flaw. If you have violated the Vienna Convention, the conclusion which you have arrived at violates a vital safeguard. If the safeguard has been violated, then what relief does the court give? Annulment, setting at large, etc. Those are the matters to be argued. So I'm sure Pakistan will once again try to play more videos and more stories, etc. But that's really not for this court.
Well, you were able to establish and demonstrate the existence of a risk of irreparable prejudice to the rights claimed by India and also of Mr. Jadhav. Now, it's the obligation of Pakistan to adhere to the ruling today. Are you confident that Pakistan will adhere, or like in other cases that you cited yourself, there is a possibility that Pakistan might proceed with the execution, sir?
I've only heard it live on the website, so I'm going by my recollection of what I've just heard. I think the court has made it very clear that our decision is binding. You will report back to us the measures you're taking to ensure, and we will monitor it. I don't think any court can go beyond that.
Okay. Can I just ask you a follow-up question on this?
Mr. Harish Salve, the other day...
Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to ask a follow-up question
Mr. Harish Salve, the other day when you were speaking to us, you very clearly said that not being able to play out that video confession in the court was something that you thought was a setback. Do you still feel that in hindsight that the doctored video confession is where Pakistan could have lost the case?
See, that's not I'm sure the Pakistan lawyers knew perfectly well that 11 extremely senior jurists sitting there know their jurisdiction. These are there's an expression which we use here. It's called making jury points. So these are like jury points, trying to prejudice people. Now, to assume that you can prejudice 11 jurists of such eminence who hear difficult cases between countries of all kinds is somewhat of an assumption which, I mean, it's one thing to try and prejudice a junior subordinate magistrate or a judge, another thing to try and prejudice a court of this stature. So when they threw the video in, the court felt that it was not appropriate because even the judges realized the purpose of the video was so that it comes on the webcast, and through your webcast, it gets sort of a quasi-legitimacy.
Right. So the idea was to play, as you said, to the jurists and the galleries very, very clearly. Very, very clearly. Will this not also constitute an indictment of the legal process in Pakistan, Mr. Salve?
No, see, let's be clear. The legal process is something which the International Court of Justice doesn't sit on appeal. But yes, the legal process, to the extent he has been denied consular access. And our submission was, and I think underlying point which the court found some force in is that the more grievous the charge, the greater the need for procedural safeguards. To say that the man is a terrorist and a spy only shows that there are very serious charges, the sanction for which can be death. So the greater the punishment, the greater the charge, the more you need punctilious compliance with procedural safeguards. And that point appears to have prima facie appealed to the court.
Mr. Harish Salve, also the fact that Pakistan did try to approach the United Nations in the interim between the February 12th hearing of the Kulbhushan Jadhav case in their own courts and the April 10th verdict. Does this somehow, were you able to prove to the International Court of Justice that there was a predetermined intent of Pakistan for the kind of verdict that they give for execution of Kulbhushan Jadhav?
You know, we didn't, let me tell you, Navika, I didn't make, in hindsight, I can say this, I didn't make the same mistake which they did. We had never ever let a court feel that they are being used to criticize a sovereign country. So we kept our arguments soft, we kept them sober but forceful. We put all that was necessary to be put. There was a lot more I could have said, which I chose not to say, so that the court doesn't feel that we are dragging them into some sort of slugfest between India and Pakistan. We kept it straight, we kept it narrow, we kept it on law, we made our points forcefully, but kept them within the confines of international law. Pakistan tried bringing in the passport, the video and all, and the result is for everybody to see.
You said that there could have been a lot more that you could have said. What were these things you could have said, Mr. Salve?
Don't get me going on Pakistan, no, please.
No, but still, it's important to know what are the 2 or 3 other things you would have said, you could have brought yourself to say.
I have strong views about some things, I have strong views about their military trial, and I have strong views about human rights. Let's not go there.
Okay, let me just ask you.
But Mr. Harish Salve,
yeah, go ahead.
Now, do you think you've actually opened the doors for Pakistan to be virtually questioned on the international fora, because bilaterally, clearly India has its limitation of making any headway with Pakistan? Do you think this particular verdict now opens the door for more multilateral engagement with Pakistan?
That's what GeoTV person asked me. How is it India has brought it here? Why is this change in India's stance? I told him, you heard me for 90 minutes. He again asked me the question. He says, can you explain it again? I said, if you didn't understand in 90 minutes, you won't understand in 30 seconds. So, yes, it has been a kind of a subtle shift. India has told Pakistan, we will explore every avenue which civilized nations have to check.
You said that you needed to convince, and it was a bit of a risk. What was the nature of the conversation you had when you proposed this?
Let's not go there. Okay.
Okay, so there were apprehensions.
No apprehension. There's always any lawyer who says you have 100% case is misleading. Okay. So never.
Mr. Harish Salve, last a very personal question, because Sushma Swaraj, the Minister for External Affairs, has gone on Twitter, on social media, and said that you are charging only a 1 rupee fee for this case. Personally, what does this case really mean to you, Harish Salve, if it's just being done pro bono? Do you think it was the rights, the human rights of Kulbhushan Jadhav, or do you think it was India's position vis-a-vis Pakistan?
Lawyers like me do pro bono. I think the government of India will be about 5 or 6 rupees, because there are 5 or 6 cases like this which I have done free for them. And there is so much work we do pro bono. All my environment work I do pro bono. When you believe in a cause, you do it pro bono. And I believe that this was a cause which merited whatever little experience I have to be put online.
And this was a personal calling out to you, or did you find that this was something that came to you because it fell within the ambit of your experience?
I appeared once before the ICJ. We had a very good result in the Marshall Islands case. So the Honorable Minister, she asked me, did I have any ideas? Could we do something? And I researched it, went back to her and said, yes, there appears to be an opening. She said, examine it. I examined it, and the rest is history.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. So who made the first move? Did the minister reach out to you and
Navika,
okay, Mr.
Today is my billing time day, not the 1 rupee time. So I'm going to log on.
We won't hold you back. We
All
won't hold
right,
you back.
Harish Salve, we'll leave you to earn your money from other cases while you've done India proud. Thank you very much for joining us here. The entire country goes out and joins us in congratulating you for this victory, because India owes it to Harish Salve's argument in the court.
India owes it to the government of India and to a powerful legal system.
Well, thank you, Mr. Salve. Well said. Thank you very much for speaking to us. I know you're pressed for time.